Hi, and welcome to Anne's Family Recipe. Today we're making a super refreshing watermelon and mint lemonade. So last year I tried a watermelon mint lemonade from my all-day grocery store, and I thought it was just the perfect combination of flavors. So I knew I wanted to recreate it at some point, and today is the day. Now, fun fact about me, this is totally random, but I love watching horse races on TV, like the Belmont Stakes and the Preakness and the Kentucky Derby. They're the perfect sporting event for me to watch because there's like 30 minutes of hype, a 2-minute race, and then you're done. So low commitment, but lots of excitement. This past spring, I made mint juleps so I could have a nice little cocktail to drink while I watched the Kentucky Derby. To be honest, I didn't love the mint julep, but I did love the mint simple syrup that I made to sweeten the drink and to impart that minty flavor. So that's exactly what I'm gonna make today for my watermelon mint lemonade. So we're gonna start over on the stove with the mint simple syrup. A simple syrup is just a combination of water and sugar, equal parts. So today I'm using 1 cup of water. I already have my heat on under my small saucepan here. And then I'm adding 1 cup of sugar. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to need to use all of this simple syrup. It kind of depends on how sweet your watermelon is, how much of the simple syrup you're going to incorporate into your lemonade. But it's nice to have enough because the reason why I make a simple syrup is that the sugar will evenly disperse into our lemonade because the liquid that we're mixing it into is going to be cold. And if I use regular granulated sugar, it might not dissolve completely. So I'm going to let this come to a simmer. Let me grab a spoon here. I'm just going to stir the sugar in to incorporate it into the water and allow it to simmer for a few minutes so that the sugar dissolves. Now, while it's simmering, I'm also going to throw in some fresh mint. So I have a whole bunch here that I bought at the store, and I'm going to use about half. So this will infuse its flavor into my simple syrup as it simmers, and then I'll take this off the heat and allow it to cool, and that mint will continue to impart its flavor into our simple syrup. I'm going to save the rest of the mint to put into my pitcher of lemonade and also a few sprigs to garnish my glasses. Recently, I shared a photo on my Instagram of this beautiful watermelon that I had sliced into, and it had this little perfectly shaped heart on it. I thought it was so pretty. And my friend Amber from the channel Housewife Glam Life commented, "You need to show me how to slice a watermelon." And it's so funny how you kind of just do something and you think that's probably how everybody does it. But I'm going to share with you today how I slice a watermelon. So first and foremost, this is clean. You have to wash all of your produce before you slice into it, because you figure this has been sitting on the dirty ground and then transported to either your farmer's market or the grocery store, and you just want to get all the dirt off because your knife is cutting through the skin to the flesh, and any of that dirt could be transferred onto your fruit. So also, I just wanted to show you really quick, actually not show you, but I want you to listen. Hopefully you can hear, but I'm going to knock on my watermelon. Ooh, it's heavy. I'm not that strong. Wait, let me try that again. Okay, can you hear how hollow that sounds? It might be weird, but if you're at your grocery store, before you buy your watermelon, pick it up and give it a knock, because usually, of course we never know what's going to be on the inside of our watermelon rind, but usually if it has a hollow sound, it means that it's going to be nice and ripe on the inside. Also, another tip is, where is it? Okay, mine has a nice big yellow spot on the bottom. So that's where it sat on the ground to ripen. If the watermelon is green all over, usually that indicates that it didn't have enough time to ripen fully on the inside. So those are 2 little tricks you can use to picking the perfect watermelon. So now I'm going to slice into my watermelon. What I like to do is, using a very long, sharp knife, I'm going to cut off both ends to start. And oh, this looks good. Like it's nice and red right by the ends, which is a good sign. Okay, so I like to cut off both ends. That way, if I stand it upright, it has a nice stable base. And I pop my trash can right next to me here because there's going to be a lot of rind that I cut off, and I just want to have an easy way to throw it away. My next step is to just stand the fruit upright, and then I'm going to slice the rind off the sides all the way around. So it might take a couple kind of angular slices to get all the way around your fruit. I'm not losing too much of the fruit Usually, I mean, this is really nice and ripe to the edge, but usually this is fairly light in color, so I don't feel like I'm losing too much of my really sweet, ripe watermelon if I throw this part of the rind away. Now, also, you could totally save this. I've never tried pickling watermelon rind, but of course, a lot of this doesn't have to go to waste if that's something you want to do. I forgot to mention that this is a seedless watermelon. I just figured that would be easier since we're incorporating it into our lemonade. So next, whether I'm making lemonade or just slicing this up for my family to eat, I like to cut it into large discs. So I'm just gonna slice this into little round pieces, and then I'll take each one of those and cube them up. I'm using my blender today to puree the watermelon, so I can just cut it up into rough chunks. I think I'm going to end up using about half of this medium-sized watermelon. My watermelon is all cubed up, so I'm just going to transfer these chunks into the container of my blender. I'm using my new Vitamix blender, which I am super excited about. Wait until you see how fast this baby goes. There's measurements all the way up the side, so you can see I filled it all the way to the top, and this is a 64-ounce container or 8 cups. So it was about half, maybe a little less than half of my watermelon. But basically I just filled it to the top, and we're gonna puree this until it's as absolutely smooth as possible. But then after that, we'll also strain it through a fine mesh sieve just into a bowl, because I really just want the pure juices of the watermelon. I don't want any of that grainy texture. So here we go. Now I'm gonna take this beautiful, very refreshing smelling watermelon juice and just strain it through my fine mesh sieve here into a large bowl. Ooh, but is it large enough? We shall see. I definitely just mentioned this in my last video, but I never seem to pick the right size bowl. Actually, I think we're gonna be okay. All right, so I'll just let that sit for a couple minutes. And in fact, I'll probably grab a spoon because I can kind of press the rest of this juice through the sieve. Oh, it smells so, so good. Okay, so next we're gonna work on juicing our lemons. I'm looking for about a cup of fresh lemon juice. So I'm starting with 6 just kind of medium-sized lemons here, and I washed and dried them, and I actually took each one and rolled it on my cutting board because that kind of gets the juices flowing a little bit. So I have my trusty citrus juicer here. Andrew, stage right today, making some sound effects for me. And I'm just gonna start juicing the lemons and keep going until I have about a cup of juice. So my 6 lemons yielded almost exactly 1 cup of lemon juice, just a hair shy, and I'm okay with that because I have 2 lemons left and I need those for a salad that I'm making later tonight for dinner. So I just wanted to share a quick tip that I always like to do. If you have a garbage disposal in your sink, I don't put all of the lemon rinds down, but I always do 1 or 2 because I love the smell of fresh lemon. And if you put it down the garbage disposal and turn it on with a little bit of hot water, it just like perfumes the air, it refreshes the kitchen. It's such a great little trick. I transferred my watermelon juice from my bowl into my pitcher, and in retrospect, I should have just strained the juice right into the pitcher in the first place because my bowl did not have a spout on the end, and this was a terrible, terrible mess. But it's all cleaned up for camera now, so we have about 4 cups of fresh watermelon juice here in my pitcher. And next I'm gonna add in my 1 cup of fresh lemon juice. I cannot describe to you how amazing our kitchen smells. It's like fresh and clean and fruity, and it's just gonna be so, so good. Very refreshing. And then I have my reserved mint leaves here. I strained out the mint leaves that were steeping in the simple syrup. They just kind of wilted, they don't look that pretty. So I took those out, but I do want to add a couple of fresh ones to continue infusing our liquid with a mint flavor. And then, like I said, I'll save a couple for the glasses when we serve it up. And then I'll grab my simple syrup behind me. And this is cooled. It's like lukewarm at most at this point. Surprisingly, the watermelon wasn't super duper sweet, so it's definitely gonna need a little bit of a sugary boost. So I'm gonna add maybe about half of this to start, maybe about a third. I don't want to go overboard, but I do like things sweet, as you might know by watching my channel. Okay, so I'll give this a stir and a taste, and then I'll know if I need to dilute it a little bit with some extra water and or if I need to add some extra minty simple syrup. Okay, for my taste, it definitely needs more sugar, so I'm gonna add in more of the simple syrup. And by more, I'm thinking all. And then I am gonna top this off with a little bit of water too. And after that, we'll pop it in the fridge and allow it to chill down, and then I'll serve it over ice. So Andrew wanted to get in on the action, right honey? Yeah. So he's just in time for me to give it a taste. See my watermelon mint lemonade? Yeah. Okay, here we go. Oh, that is so good. It is so good. Holy cow, it's super refreshing. Very like, I don't know, light and kind of fruity tasting, not overly sweet though, actually, it's perfect. That fresh lemon juice is amazing. And the watermelon juice, honestly, I can't think of a better word other than just light and refreshing to describe it. It is so yummy. And there's just that hint of mint. It's in fact not too overpowering, despite the fact that I used probably 10 leaves. I infused them into my simple syrup, and then I added even more into the mixture here. It's the perfect amount. Wow, this is awesome. I'm super happy. It tastes similar, but even better than the watermelon mint lemonade that I tried last summer. You definitely have to give this one a try. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and follow me on Instagram at Anne's Family Recipe. Thank you so much for joining me today in my kitchen, and we'll see you again soon with another family recipe. What do you think of the lemonade?
It's really good.
Ooh, thank you.
I can even taste the mist of the mint flavor.
Ooh, a hint of mint.
Uh-huh.
Delightful. What do you think, Jack?
I love it.
You love it. Don't mind the mugs. It's all we had that was clean. Good to the last slurp, huh?